Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. This side, Rahul Magan here, acting as the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP. And today we are going to speak about very important model in data analytics, which is M-score model, or shortly known as Beneish model. As you very well understand that Treasury Consulting LLP is expanding its YouTube channel, and every second day we are uploading all kind of different videos to our members, and basically wherein we are covering the exotic topics. So this time we are planning to cover a very latest topic in data analytics. Basically it is not data analytics, this is financial analytics. Because as we earlier communicated to you people that analytics is divided into four parts, which is financial analytics, cash flow analytics, ratio based analytics and data analytics. In financial analytics we have one model which is known as Beneish model, or shortly known as M-score model. Now in this M-score model, what people are trying to do, they are trying to find it out whether there is any scope of basically whether there is a scope of manipulation or not. But before understanding this model, we would like to take one thing into cognizance, which is that such models may or might not be very accurate in nature, because they are always probabilistic in nature, in the sense that suppose tomorrow you are taking the data of Genpact, Cognizant, TCS, Infosys, or any big company, right? And you are putting this data into this model. So you never be sure that even though this model giving you a red or green signal, but don't fully go with this. Use your brain, because there are not many times. Sometimes what you see may or might not be the fact. May or might not be the fact. That is something which we sincerely need to. That is something which we sincerely need to understand. Right now, in this model, we will go with an example of we will go with both 5-score and a 8-score model. Now, as we earlier suggested, that M-score is all about analytics. As simple as that. Not to mention, M-score is all about analytics. Now, what M-score? Now, M-score, or Mr. Beneish, the person who originated this model or who created this model, he pointed out few facts like Dow Index. In Dow Index, there are still many companies who should not be, and there are still many companies who should be a part of the Dow Index, but they are not. Similarly, in the Beneish model, there are 7 or 8 things which you need to consider this. Now here they are. Number 1 is net sales. Now, one thing which we sincerely need to understand, that although Beneish model refer this as net sale, but this is not net sale. This is top line. So I am writing this, I am putting F2 here, I am writing net sales oblique top line. Then you have cost of goods sold. Sometimes if you look at financials, then you will get this term SG&A, cost of goods, selling, general and administrative expenses. Then you have net receivables. Now net receivable is nothing but your AR, which is account receivable. I mentioned this is account receivable, but this is one of the flip side. I mentioned this here as a flip side. Let me do a small color control B here. Then you have current asset, property plant. This is net block. No, you need to consider this as gross block. Then you have depreciation. You left with net block. Right, depreciation, there is a mistake, that should always be okay, no mistake. You have total asset, you have SG&A, you have net income. Net income means this gentleman is talking about PAT, profit after tax. You have cash flow from operations. This is a flip side. How? I will let you know. Sorry, it was my mistake. Current asset is also a flip side. Control B. And current liabilities is also a flip side. Then you have a long-term debt. Whatever numbers you are getting in this model, which is 2016 or 2017, these numbers are absolutely fake in nature. We, Treasury Consulting LLP, are taking no responsibilities on that number, because these numbers we just assumed it. If by coincidence these numbers tally with any company or any organization, then we as a company is not taking any ownership of that. We hereby give you an acknowledgement that we deliberately not chosen that number. These are just hypothetical numbers we assume. Neither we link this number with the financial statements of any company, whether it is an Indian company or non-Indian company, or a foreign company doing business in India, or a non-Indian company, or an Indian company doing business in foreign. Right? Now, before moving ahead, what we need to do, we will give you a small 5 to 10 minutes elaboration on the flip side of the Beneish model. Now, what are the flip side of the Beneish model? Number one flip side, as you understood, which is net receivables, which is also known as account receivable. Why this is a flip side? Here, suppose I am taking a case of 5 companies. I am writing here so that you can also recognize the case. Suppose I am taking a case Infosys, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and say one Indian company, say PQR Logistics Private Limited. What is the difference in the AR of all these 5 companies, which is Infosys, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and PQR Logistics Private Limited? The difference is very simple. If you look at the first 4 companies, they are doing business everywhere across the globe. Infosys is doing business everywhere, Apple is doing everywhere, Google doing everywhere, Microsoft doing everywhere. In fact, if you look at the last 3, second, third and fourth, which is Apple, Google and Microsoft, then you will get to know they are the one who are doing business across the globe. Not a single country they left where they are not doing the business, except few countries where there is some issue in doing the business. If you look at the 5th company, which is PQR Logistics Private Limited, this is very well visible that this company is certainly doing only business in India, because it's an Indian based company. And what this company is doing, this company is providing transportation services. This company is providing transportation services. Now there is an issue in that. What is an issue? The issue is very well relevant and very well clear. The issue is that if you consider the AR of top 4 versus the AR of PQR Logistics Private Limited, then there is an issue of foreign exchange. Because Infi, Apple, Google, Microsoft, they all have AR in almost every currency. Your dollar, GBP, Euro, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, they have in almost every currency. There is not a single currency which they left that where they don't have an account receivable. Now in that sense, if you compare the AR of a company called PQR Logistics, then they would have only AR in the Indian rupee. Now there is a big issue. Where would you digest the impact of foreign exchange? Now you cannot say that we are not going to consider Infosys and all the top 4 because they are having foreign currency AR. You cannot say that. Or you cannot say that, if PKR do not have a foreign account receivable, it means it is not a good company. We cannot say that. So this is the flip side of the model, that net receivable position do not include the foreign exchange as well. Second come current assets. There is a problem in current asset. If you look at any balance sheet, you will get to know that assets are predominantly current asset, non-current asset, and then you have a total. If you look at the liability side, you will get to know that you would have a current liability, you would have a non-current liability, and so. But unfortunately, the world has changed. We are living in 2016. Where the valuation standards are changing. It is not that we are living in 1980 or 1960 when current asset means current asset. Today in schools there is a term which is getting taught, which is liquid ratio. Current asset to your quick asset to current asset. Now this do not hold true nowadays. So rather than using current asset, we are advising you to use our new term which is there, which is known as non-cash current assets, which is equals to current assets minus, bracket open, cash and cash equivalents, say investments, I would say short-term deposits, now here is one thing which we need to understand very clearly, account receivables. Just give me 1 minute please. I don't know what's not going. Let us do with that. Account receivable, having aging less than 90 days. So these are the 4 things that you need to exclude from your current assets to get a non-cash current asset. But why do you need non-cash current asset? You need non-cash current asset because of following reasons. You need non-cash current assets because there is a theory which suggests that if you are having free cash, which is what your cash and cash equivalent, short-term loans, short-term deposits, and account receivable less than 90 days, the same has already been invested in the market. The same has already been invested in the markets. Now, why we are taking account receivable less than 90 days? Because I hope you all heard about a concept of factoring. Now, what is factoring? Factoring means you are selling your receivable to improve your DSO. DSO stands for days sales outstanding, and of course you will get a money as well. Now, once you get doing that, the 90 days account receivable are more prone to factoring than greater than 90 days. So that is the second flip side. Third flip side is cash flow from operations. Why cash flow from operations is the third flip side? Because one thing which we need to understand that cash flow from operations is it will get vary from accounting standard to accounting standard. So what I mean to say is, suppose you have an accounting standard INDS, you have US GAAP, you have IFRS, you have Indian GAAP, maybe IS 39 and others. If you make your cash flow statements accordingly, the numbers would differ. If you make your statements accordingly, the numbers would differ. Why? Because all accounting standards are going to give cash flow statement from different perspective. Now moving forward, you have these ratios. Now again the same principle applies on current liabilities as well. In current liabilities, you are not going to take current liabilities, you are going to take non-cash current liabilities. In liabilities, you are not going to take current liabilities, you are going to take non-cash current liabilities. And what do you mean by non-cash current liabilities? Let me write a formula. First, let me insert few rows. You have current liabilities minus short-term loans and advances, shortly known as STL. Your trade payables having aging less than 90 days. This is what you are going to take. Non-cash CL, non-cash this. So these are the 4 flip sides that you need to assume. Please be note that we are strictly advising you not to use Beneish model only because it's a Beneish model. Please look at the financials of the company. In fact, here for the simplistic reason we assume that we are here talking about Apple. It might possible that if you look at the financials of the Apple, you would find something where it is difficult to adjust the the Beneish model, right? Now here you devised these are the few ratios which Beneish models are giving, like debt to service and so on and so forth, day sales outstanding and all. Now these ratios are specific formulas. These formulas are given here. Let me repeat for you. Like DSRI, let me repeat for you. You have current asset, you have day sales and receivable index, you have gross margin index, you have asset quality index, you have sales growth index, you have depreciation index, you have selling general and administrative, which is what known as SG&A, you have leverage index, you have total accrual to asset. Now based upon these ratios which are formalized here, and you will take the 2 years numbers, right, in that regards, and we again repeat that the numbers we are taken, these all are hypothetical numbers. If by chance they will tally with any company, then it is just a coincidence, but the purpose of the Treasury Consulting LLP is not to link this model with any of the company, whether it is a listed company or a non-listed company. Now the Beneish model will further divide into 2 parts, which is 5-score model and which is 8-score model. I hope you people heard a term in foreign exchange market which is known as Framer-French model. Like you have a black score model, we have a model called Framer-French model. Now in the Framer-French model we have, this is also based upon few coefficients. This is also a coefficient. Now if I click on the 5 variable model, you can see the coefficients here, right? Now these coefficients are devised by Mr. Beneish. They are linked with the numbers above. Like if you go above, if I continue to press this and I go this, now this 5-score model is having few coefficients and this is linked with these variables. If I go with the 8-score model, then wait, F2, then these are linked with these ratios. Now while doing this, the purpose is extremely simple, that if M, which is a M score model, is greater than minus 2.22, then it's likely to be a manipulator. But as we earlier suggested in the very early of this video, that sometimes you might get a number wherein it seems that it is manipulative in nature, but technically this is not. Because the reason here is, sometimes generally the company would have the numbers which might take them towards a manipulator. But yes, sometimes we have a few fake companies also, like Rico India, wherein the loan amount was increased from 300 to 1300 crore. It's a corporate governance scandal. One video where we posted, that is Neuromama. In Neuromama, only a very scant shares. Scant is known as penny shares. A penny shares is basically taking care of more than $35 billion of market capitalization, and there are more such companies are there. So you very well understand that. So considering this fact, these models are very good. These models are helping you in doing financial analytics. But at the same time, these models will also help you. These models will also probabilistic in nature. They are not very firm in nature. Please don't be blind that if M is greater than minus 2.22, then it means exactly this is a case of a manipulation. No, this may or might not be the case of manipulation. So few things which we need to understand, and this way the financial analytics is growing. I hope you like this video. If you need this model, you know our contact details which we are sharing right away. And before winding up this video, we would like to announce that Treasury Consulting LLP is launching our CD. CD stands for compact disc, or maybe probably we will launch a DVD. In this CD or a DVD, we will give a 2 hours video lecture linked with the presentation, and if required then an Excel solver, which costs not more than 500 rupees. In this we are going to give which would be available on our website, which is on the way probably by end of August. You can buy this at 500 rupees and understand how the variety of corporate scandals are happening, and how Companies Act 2013 is making sure that the chartered accountant firms or the non-chartered accountant firms can prevent themselves from such kind of accounting scandals. By end of October, probably we would be launching a CD on American governance, which is Fox and Coso, and by end of November or so we would be launching another CD which is analytics using IFRS 9 and IFRS 13. So as you very well understand that IFRS 9 and 13 are the two most very important topics to understand. And in fact, I'm not demeaning other IFRS, but in my view, IFRS 3, IFRS 9, IFRS 13 are the three most important to understand. In that regards, we would be launching 3 different CDs in the next 3 months and costing not more than 500 on our website. You are welcome to buy that. And in case you need the Excel model, you know our contact details, which is very well here. You're also welcome to join our brand, which is Foreign Exchange Basic Thinkers, which is very well available on LinkedIn, FX Club, YouTube channel, Daily Motion, derivative groups. We have WhatsApp, Telegram, your Foreign Exchange Academies on Facebook, Skype, Google Group, Google Blog, and Digital Library in Google. We now join Dropbox as well, and SlideShare on the way. Our email ID is very simple: treasuryconsultingllp@gmail.com, Rahul Magan 8@gmail.com, and our contact number is 9899242978, which is handheld. Our Skype connect is Rahul5327. Thank you very much, and I hope you appreciate this video. More such videos on the way, wherein we will give you something very classic, very new. We will keep you updated about different things which is happening in the market. Thank you. This is Treasury Consulting.